Microsoft, MSFT. Why Microsoft? Microsoft has been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to the upside. If you got Microsoft around this 210, 215 area, guess what? You are really looking solid right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Well, this is your boy Francis. Welcome to the Trading Success Show. If this is your first time, you're welcome to this channel. Now, what we're going to be dealing with this time around, we're going to be also talking about large cap, large price stocks, and also we're going to be looking at the US economic calendar as well as what is driving this market and what we're expecting this coming week. Now, don't forget, we have a core CPI coming in as well, which the Fed does look at. And according to an article on Market Watch, it said recession threat may mean stock market investors no longer see bad news as on economy as good news. Okay, you know, when we say bad news, good news, bad news, so you know that is what we're seeing right now. So as things begin to phase into a different angle, phase into a different, you know, strategy in the market, you also need to look at and revisit your portfolio sizing. That brings to mind because Tesla really did me, you know, something last week, because I was expecting Tesla to hold up to the end of its bargain, but guess what? It never held right above $200, right? So that is a lesson. We'll learn from it and we'll move on and we'll continue to trade. We'll continue to invest on good names. Now, this is our economic calendar. That's what we're looking at. Also, Fed's gonna be speaking on Monday. We pretty much have wholesale inventory. Tuesday we have Chicago Fed president as well. They're gonna speak as well as on Wednesday, guys. On Wednesday we got core CPI. Okay, core CPI on Wednesday, as well as looking at Treasury budget. But don't forget, at 2 p.m. we have the minutes of FOMC meeting, so which is their past what you know, J Power is all about, right? And on Thursday we're gonna have core PPI as well. So our producer price index also gonna come in, right? So just keep an eye out. Also with Thursday we have jobless claim, and also on Friday we're gonna be looking at Wally speaking on Friday. Okay, so also as well Friday we're gonna be talking about the US retail sales and what the market looks like in terms of retail, right? Also we're gonna be talking about the general market, how the market really did close. We really closed good. Energy did took a dive to the low side, but however, with this issue with you know, China and Taiwan and Ukraine and also Russia, right now we're looking at Taiwan says it has detected 70 Chinese aircraft and 11 warships around Taiwan in the past 24 hours. So this is some form of aggression around that you know, territory, right? So just keep an eye out and see how the oil side react in terms of energy, because that is what's gonna happen as, you know, this war and all this crazy stuff begin to happen. Guess what's gonna happen to the oil side? They're gonna keep going higher and gonna be climbing up in terms of the oil. Now let's take a look at our first market. Let's see what the market is gonna be doing. Right now market actually took a dip back down to support, right? So right now I'm expecting the market to really hold this area as a support, which we held one time and two times, right? So now we have our double bottom right now. Okay, so we now have our double bottom, so we'll be expecting a bounce off of this area, of which we did. We got about $4 off of that bounce, right? So the next spot is going to be 410. That is going to be our next spot. If we can break through 410, guys, we can push right into 415 or even retest these highs right here. That is our market. But then if 405 doesn't hold, I'll be expecting the market to pull back to retest this trend right here. This is what I'm expecting the market to do, which also will also have coincidental value here at 401. Okay, which I will average it down to about 400. So that's gonna be our support in the market because of our moving averages as well, right? So keep an eye out there for the market. Apple as well, we're looking at Apple holding 162.50, held it, double bottom bounce as the same thing we saw in the market. So keep an eye out on that 162.50 on Apple. Talking about General Motors, right? General Motors also, we are looking at holding support 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the fifth reaction around the $34. So keep an eye out around this $34 or $34.50 for a bounce, for a support bounce back to the upside into $35, $36 on General Motors. NWN, this one also, they also pay dividends. So most of these stocks here I will be analyzing, they pay dividends. So that is what I'm going for. That's what I'm that is what I'll be going for, 100% of the coming trading strategy for me. So I'll be looking at getting in on good names that I know will stand the test of time. However, if you look at NWN, volume is not there, right? So I'm looking for anything above 250,000 in terms of volume traded. Okay, but I'm looking at this, we're breaking out of the 200 moving average, which is a bullish, very bullish sentiment out here. So 49 is our next spot on NWN, which will give me the head and shoulder pattern. So if we can break this area, guys, then we can shoot back into 50-51 on that name. Looking at Google as well, Google right now, this is our support. Okay, so price really did pull back into support, which coincide with our 200 moving average, held that area, bounced back up, got to 106, which is our next resistance, or which I call the intermediate resistance spot, 106, rejected it back into 104. All of a sudden, guess what? The market made a double bottom and then boom to the upside. So keep an eye out on this name, as 108 is going to act as our mini support in the coming weeks. Okay, if this war and all that stuff doesn't shake out the market, and also core CPI as well. Microsoft, MSFT. Why Microsoft? Microsoft has been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to the upside. If you got Microsoft around this 210, 215 area, guess what? You are really looking solid right now. Okay, now our target is going to be $300. That is where the target is going to be. But guess what? We may get to $399, and guess what? Boom, back down to retest support. Okay, so keep an eye out, and also make sure you're taking profit. As Amazon right now, we're looking at resistance level. I love Amazon. I love the fact that Amazon is about to break out. Amazon is about to get out of this zone that it has been for quite a while, and the next spot is going to be 107, 108. Why? Because that is our moving 200 moving average. That is where we're going. See how price rejected the 200 moving average? I'll be expecting the same action right here, but we really need to test that spot for now. Every time we get to this trend, guess what? We reject it. That is happening again, and now see if we can find support right around 99, 50 or $99. If we do, then boom, we can continue to push higher, higher and higher, only if this 104 102 doesn't hold. If it does, held this spot and hold it solidly, guess what? We'll push right through 405.50 or even 104.50 or 105.50 area to 107. So keep an eye out on Amazon. I still like that chart. Zim as well. This is Zim Integrated Shipping Services. Right now I got my eyes on this. I got some few position on this one. I'll be expecting a bounce off of this support, which is our 20 exponential moving average. With our issues, our issue right now is been the 200 moving average. That is where the issue is. If we can break through that spot, we can push higher on that name. BKH at this point, the same thing, just like the Amazon pattern. We got all this resistance right here, so I'll be looking for this to really hold this $65 zone, wait for that confirmation, and then boom, we could even fill this gap that was created right back into 68 or $70 in the coming days. So keep an eye out on Black Hills Cup, right? IBM. Why IBM? I love IBM. IBM is also a good company that you can hold for a long term, right? So I'll be looking at price right around the 133 area. Okay, if price can hold 130, 131, we can continue to push back into 135 even. So keep an eye out. I do like the name, however. DOWN, we're looking at $56. That is our next spot on Dow Holding. So keep an eye out. Verizon as well. VZ at this point, we have what we call head and shoulder as well. If you can see that, let's draw that. So this one is also the left side. This, we're going to try to attempt the right side. This is the head, and see if we can push through. So if price can push right into 40, then we can get to 41.50, 42 easily on Verizon. So keep an eye out on Verizon. Also, we're looking at PXD making or partnering with ExxonMobil. So right now, Pioneer Natural Resources will be looking for deals to come with Exxon, and see if price can push right into 218. So keep an eye out on that 218 area as well on that name. Colgate. Okay, Colgate CL, we're looking at price breaking through this level. Okay, so 76 has always been, the resistance. See how we've been really flagging around this area. So I'll be looking for price to break through. If $76 breaks and hold, we can continue to push back into 77 or even $80 on that name. So keep an eye out as well. ITW, Illinois Tool Works. Right now, we're looking at price at 225. That is going to be our support if this 227 fail. Okay, but if it holds, we'll be looking at price back into 232, 231 in the coming weeks. Pepsi Cola. Okay, so Pepsi at this point, I do like the chart. Right now we're actually in the resistance spot. That is where we are right now on Pepsi. Okay, if price can push through this area 185, we should be able to continue on our journey to the upside. Looking at price, where price is coming from, we have about 10% already on this name. TGT, this is Target. target right now, we're looking at 167.50. We break that area, price can push and push and push right back into 180. So keep an eye out on target. I think they will continue doing wonderful on that name. Also, they got dividend as well, right? So keep an eye out on that name. ABBV. ABBV actually did a fantastic job. I was expecting ABBV to fall back into the 200 moving average. ABBV did. Okay, so the idea is to pick right below the 200 moving average, and if assuming you did that in my previous video a couple of months back, I think, guess what, we'll be looking at price, you know, on to that 161, 162 right now, right? So anyways, 165, that is our next spot on ABBV. Square, aka block right now, we're fighting the 200 moving average. That is what we're doing right now with that dip down based on short seller report. And guess what, right now we're fighting the 200 moving average. If we can get past this level, guess what, 72.50 or $75 is the next spot on this name. Also Universal Corp as well, we're looking at price breaking this downtrend. Keep an eye out on this level. I think 53 breaks or 52.50, 53 breaks, guys, will continue to push to the upside before we can retest this trend again. But for now, support is going to be this trend right here. This our beautiful trend. So keep an eye out on that. Tesla has this inverse head and shoulder pattern. Okay, this is the inverse head and shoulder pattern, and right now we have another immediate inverse head and shoulder, which is this area as well. So keep an eye out. I think this 180 is going to act as our support, which acted as our support as out of the close, and guess what, boom to the upside if we can break 20 and 50 exponential moving average. Another small name to watch is Warner Brothers as well. So we're looking at this. We're looking at this downtrend. That is our break, $15.50. That is your spot to watch. Twilio as well, TWLO. We're looking at price around this area. So $60 is going to act as our support for now. That is what I'm expecting for this to hold. If we can hold this area, guess what? 64 is the next target, is the next spot for that name. Also talking about XLF, JP Morgan and BAC, we're looking at price continue to push to the upside. 200 moving average held on this name, and I'll be expecting more to come on that as well. BAC, like I said, BAC as well, we're looking at price holding this $27.50 area. If it does, then we'll be looking at price back into $29 or even $30 as well on that name. PINS, Pinterest, looking at Pinterest, 29 is your spot. If we can break through that 29, then we are good on that name. Docu, looking at DOCU. Right now we are working the 200 moving average for the move to the upside. Another small one as well, this is called Metapod. Metapod, right now we're looking at 20 exponential moving average break. We break that area, guys, we're gonna be looking at more to the upside on this name. Okay, so Roku, let's take a look at Roku real quick. Roku, right now we are still fighting the 200 moving average on this name. 67.50, we can, you know, pop, we can really get a good pop back into 75 or even $78 on this name. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sharing your weekend with me. Thank you for your time. I will continue to post videos like this, giving you your levels, giving you those spots that, you know, I think the market and also the stock is likely to go. But remember always to take profit on your way up, even on the way down if you're short selling a stock. Okay, don't be that kind of guy that ends up holding the bag. I've done it numerous times, multiple times, but I'm still learning, and we're all still learning. So keep on the good work and enjoy the rest of the weekend, guys. Peace.